Hello and welcome to the Soul spoiler review. I am really excited about this. I just finished talking about it in the spoiler-free video that I just did not 5 seconds ago, and now I can talk about it in full detail. So first things first, like I mentioned in the previous video that I did, I absolutely loved this movie. I thought it was really funny. I thought it was phenomenal to look at. The colors were stupid beautiful. The character design was amazing. The score was really good and very unique, and the movie had a lot of heart and it spoke to everybody. And now we can talk about it in full detail. So I guess I should talk about the opening scene first, right? So where they're in the classroom and the band is just playing horribly, and the music teacher's kind of playing the piano, telling them how he got into music. I love that scene so much. It set up the character very well, and it set up the whole scene. It set up that he's kind of super passionate, but he's not where he thinks he deserves to be. And that was set up so perfectly. How you saw, like, you knew he was gonna die. I think that was in the trailer, and he was running through all these kind of like obstacles around New York to get to his gig, and he's not getting killed. He's not getting killed. He's not getting killed. And you're like, oh no, there go. Oh no, oh, don't do that. All right, so when he finally dies, I think that everything they do there is so crazy unique, especially the character design for I think they're called Jerry's, and there's a Terry, and I wonder why. I don't know why, but there's got to be something there. Is something about T, time, and then J, something else? But they're all named Jerry's, and there's a Terry's, the Terry's. I think that's so cool. The character design for these drawing things are so awesome, and I love how they can just manipulate the world around them. They're essentially angels, but you never get the sense that they're angels. You never get this like angelic, Christly, or earthly religious-y thing. It's just something completely unique. It's completely spiritual, I guess I would say. It's not religious in any way. Everything that they talk about, nothing actually is religious. I mean, now that I think about it, when they go, if you pay attention, when they're going into the Hall of Everything, it kind of looks like a cross, just a little bit more like a T than a cross, but still, I mean, forget that. That's nothing. The whole movie, for the most part, I think entirely is just very spiritual, has no religious elements that I could tell, but it still fits. I mean, I think it fits with every religion. The stuff that they're talking about is timeless. The whole point of the movie is timeless. I love how they introduced the character 22. I like that there's no name, it's just 22. Now, do you think that means that, I mean, I guess it does, right? Because they mentioned a soul that was like 365 billion 860 or whatever, and then 22. Does that mean something? Do you think that means something? Like, so that this was this 22nd soul to ever exist, right? Human soul. So why 22? Is there something that I don't know? Leave it in the comments if you know. I also really like the hippie character on the boat. And I get it. Like, they're meditating, so they're alive, but they can enter to this realm where they're super. They're saving people's souls, I guess, in a way. I just love that whole thing because it makes sense. I get it. When you're meditating super hard, you're kind of in the zone, so you're in that place where it's between this world and that world. I thought that was super smart, and it just makes sense to me. It worked. And I really especially like the line about when you're in the zone and you're zoning out and you're where you need to be in your special place. It's such a thin line between being really passionate about something and then being obsessed over something. And I love the transition over that you're floating, and then it's just like you're dropping, and then you just become this bogged down version of yourself because you're so obsessed with this search that they're trying to find something, trying to do something. Now that I think about it, I wonder, why wouldn't Joe, I think that's his name, I'm pretty sure that's his name, the main character, why didn't he get bogged down? Because I guess he's been searching for success, right? But he never found it. So wouldn't he have been one of these people that's stuck in their loop? Maybe if he kept looking for this big break in his career, he would have probably ended up being that way. Oh man, so this is the one thing in the movie where I was just like, oh really? So when they do the whole body swap thing, I thought that was a little like, oh man, we're doing this thing. This is what we're doing, a body swap. It's just been done so not original at all. It's been done so hard. I was just like, geez, but it worked. It was fine. I would have gone for it with a different animal, but I guess cat works. I laughed out loud when they were like, why am I in the cat? So where's the cat's soul? And the cat's soul is like on the treadmill to the afterlife. I love that. I don't understand it, but it made me laugh out loud. That whole scene in the hospital was really good. I liked how he was trying to stand up and try to figure out how this body works. Oh man, and that's one of the first times when I noticed how ridiculously detailed this world is. If you take a look at the clothing on Joe when he's in the elevator, look at how it wrinkles, look at how it falls. It looks like they had to do that with tracking. Like they had to get someone in a suit and actually make those movements or something, because it's so realistic. It made my mind explode. Pixar is on another level here. And again, like I mentioned in my previous video, they never cross that uncanny valley area. It's never too realistic, because the realism is on the world around the characters, not the characters themselves. So when we're looking at the characters, we're seeing still cartoonish characters. They're CGI, and we know that, and that's fine. They don't have to be hyper realistic. We're not trying to do some Lion King garbage over here, you know. So the world around them can be as realistic as they want to make it, and it's fine. Similarly, there was one scene in the barbershop later in the movie where they just show the table or the desk where the barber's working, and the amount of detail was mind-blowing. I had to tell my girlfriend, look at what this looks like. Look at this amount of detail. I feel like this is what video game quality will be in like a few years, you know, like the next gen console. It'll be basically a Pixar movie. One can only hope, right? They also did the whole gag with so if you're not from New York, or maybe you've already seen this, there was a viral video that went down where there was a rat taking a pizza slice up the stairs. And you could see that in the movie. They do that where the cat is crossing paths with the rat, and they both have pizza. They kind of look at each other and they keep going. I'm pretty sure they got that idea was from a video, that viral video that I was talking about. You know what I was also thinking when Joe was showering, or 22 was showering in Joe's body, and Joe as the cat was outside, I was thinking, why doesn't he just go in there? That's his body. He knows what it looks like, right? 22 also shouldn't have a concept of shame or like don't look at my body or anything like that. I don't know. I'm glad they didn't do that whole bit, because it would have just bogged down the movie for no reason and trying to explain these things. But I don't know, just something to think about, right? I gotta admit, when the kid came to Joe and was like, I want to quit, that whole scene, I felt kind of nothing. It just didn't sound that great, and I was actually liked it, but I don't know. I didn't feel anything there. Oh man, that barbershop scene was awesome. The whole thing entirely, especially the hater, like just hating on him just cause. And then when he's like, you cut too deep, man. Like, dude, that was a good joke. That was good. You cut deep, Joe. And I really liked his backstory. These people, like, he felt like a real human being. Like, you know, I didn't always want to be a barber, but, you know, when I left the Navy, and he said it just so seamlessly, and then, you know, the kid got sick, and it's just like, these are real people. I mean, they're not real people. I know they're not real people, but the way that they spoke at that barbershop, he was telling his story about his life. That was good. And I also like that, you know, Joe was so like, whoa, I never knew this about the guy. And that's the whole point of the movie, is that we run into little special things every single day, but we don't appreciate them. We just think that they're just normal nothings, whatever. It's just a barbershop guy, but there's a whole huge backstory there that you don't know. The same way that the leaf is just a beautiful part of the day that you don't stop and appreciate. So I think the whole movie really is about stopping and smelling the flowers. Here's another thing. When they were in the subway and 22 throws a half-eaten bagel into the subway performer's guitar case. I was gonna say guitar basket. Guitar case. My girlfriend and I thought the same thing. He didn't yell at her. Like, dude, you're throwing food. Now, when 22 decided to run off with the body, I thought that was a little weird. I don't think that was completely in character. Maybe they could have done a little bit something different to make it happen, make the rest of the movie happen. But I mean, it makes sense, and there's new motivation there to want to live. So, and then you also got to see why she never wanted to live. I guess everyone was telling her negative things the whole time, that you can't make it, that you're just a pain in the neck. She feels like crap all the time, and that's why she never went anywhere. Did the hippie guy, did the captain of the ship die when he went down? Is that what happened? He gave a salute and did he just croak? I don't know. More questions, but totally fine. Out of the story after that. We don't need to know. Just two more things that I want to talk about in the movie. So, well, one, the ending, I feel like he could have just died and the movie would have been fine. I think the movie would have been like, it's okay, life and death happens, and that's acceptable. You don't have to force life all the time. You can just accept that there is something else. New life comes in and new and old life goes out, and that's fine. I would have been acceptable. I would have accepted that just fine. I kind of like bittersweet endings, but it makes it a little bit even weirder to me because they presented it as like he wasted his life, where he was like, this time, you know, you get a second chance and this time I'm gonna live every second of it. But throughout the film, he didn't have that. Like throughout the film, you didn't feel that he was wasting his life. He was in a tough position, but he was always pursuing what he really wanted to do. And I don't think he was wasting any of it. He also didn't seem like he didn't appreciate anything in his life either. He seemed like he appreciated everything just fine. So the very ending, I think, was a little forced, but not in a bad way. Like it's fine. It was a good end, a good way to end the movie. But I don't think the character would have ended in such a like, I better enjoy my life more because I've been wasting it. Well, I guess maybe after seeing 22, appreciate all the little things, I guess you can kind of justify that. Like, well, no, now he's getting a glimpse of like what he's been missing out on. But, he hasn't been unappreciative throughout the movie. That hasn't happened yet. So the ending of just saying like, hey, I'm going to appreciate my life now. It didn't do it too much for me, and I would have been fine if he just ended up dying and we could have seen a circle of life. Well, I stopped filming, but I have one more thing to say. So, I just remembered a line from the movie. It's "Get ready, Joe, your life's about to start," or something like that. And I think that's that ties together my complaint that I just made, because that does tell me that he has been waiting for his life to start when it has started a long time ago, and his eyes haven't been open to his life actually happening. He's been waiting for this thing to happen to him. When it finally does happen, nothing changed. His life had already begun. You just have this idea of like, no, when this next thing happened, that's when I'll be happy. And that thing happened, and nothing changed. So yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it does work. The ending does work for me. Just remembering that line. So that is my spoiler review. Wait, that's not even a review. I basically just told you the stuff that happens in the movie. I really like it. If I was going to give it a rating, I guess I would go for an 8.5 out of 10. 10 is always reserved for perfect, which is probably never going to be achieved in my book. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. My girlfriend loved it. I had feels watching it. I think it was great. That's all I got to say. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe to get notified when I post a new video. Peace.